Hello, everybody. I need to change the banjo strings on this episode. I broke a string the other day, so the first string broke off. So I'm gonna go ahead and change the strings on this, and go ahead and go through it. Make sure everything's working as it should be. Every nut and bolts as snug as it should be. The last time I went to do the adjustment on the tension on the banjo head, I lost a bracket, so I'm really concerned about that. So gonna have to ease on them a little bit and see if I even need to do that, if it's even necessary. Probably not. It's still kind of tight on there. So it is getting older. It's about 8 years old now. The banjo is, and so I'm gonna go ahead and open this up too in this episode and see if that truss rod is working properly and turning and all that good stuff, or if it's just rusted, stuck. So we'll go through that as well. And yeah, put a new set of strings on them. These strings here actually are almost a year old. They're 10 months old, actually. I think, if y'all remember, when I did put these strings on here, they've been on here since this banjo head's been on here, and I did that banjo head swap about 10 months ago. So yeah, so let's dig into it. Let's get the strings on it and see what we can get into. Just going to loosen these up and come across it with the wire cutters. Cut them off the rest of the way. And make sure these are snug down tight too. These tuners. Same thing with this guy. Running him in the right direction. I'm not in my normal workshop setting here, so it's kind of a challenge as far as videoing it in the right angle here. So we're back to the top side now. Alright, so what I'm going to do now they got the strings off of it, and I've already got the banjo head marked from where I know where the intonation, where the bridge is going to go for intonation reasons. And I'm hoping this might reach up in there. I can test the truss rod out. I'm going to check for the neck straightness as well, so I'm going to go ahead and dig into this. My son Timmy's helping me with the camera today, so it's not my normal setup. So we're going to go ahead and unscrew all these. I'll put them, I guess, right here. I'm just going to go ahead and unscrew them. Get them out of there. It won't take long just to go through it. Make sure everything is working properly. It is getting up there in the age. This is probably really has never been taken off, so I never really had to adjust it. So pause it. Alright, so we're getting a good look at that truss rod now. It looks damn immaculate, brand new almost. But I'm going to see if we can tell, if I had to lift this up, if we could look down the neck together. Still looks straight. As best I could see. Yep, neck's still running straight. That's without strings on it though. I'll look at it again on the string tension to see if the neck starts to bow a little bit. I've really played hard on this instrument. You can see where some of the fretboard has been kind of scuffed through me playing it over the years. So let me get onto this truss rod and see if it at least moves. I'm going to make sure everything's still moving. Alright, so hopefully this is about the only thing I have with me right now. It's off that Rosen guitar, but hopefully this is the right size. What I'm going to do, since the neck's straight, I ain't really worried about trying to get it to tighten up. So I found me a planetary position. So however this Allen wrench is sitting now, I'm just remembering the angle of this. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to move that truss rod back and forth. just like that. And it's moving pretty smooth. It does feel kind of loose going back this way. So maybe just like that. And just move it back to where it goes, to where I found it. So it's moving, I mean smooth. It's not locking up or anything, so everything's still moving as it should with that. So I'm good to go. I just want to make sure everything, that truss rod's still turning and then still active and everything, and it's not stuck at any point. All right, pause it for me. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna check is the barrel nuts on these tuners, because that's another thing too. They have a tendency to come loose and wobbly, and it's just not good. These are kind of a cheap set that I bought. I think the whole set cost me like $20 for the set of tuners. But they're done pretty good. I ain't lost a tune yet with them, so they're done pretty good. Been on here for a year, so a year later I can happily say that they've done their duty. They're really good. I gotta get that out of there too. When I get to that point. So what I'm gonna do, I don't have my wrench set with me right now, so what I'm gonna do is the next best thing is see if I can get a bite with this little plier set and just try to twist them a little bit, make sure they get not too much. If they don't turn, don't force them. That means they're still snug tight. That one's kind of loose, so I'm gonna keep on going with that guy. That's good. I ain't going no further with him. Same with this guy. Oh, he ain't even budging. He's good. He's good. There you go. Really, that's all I can really do as far as wrenching on stuff with what I got on hand. I'm not going to worry about trying to adjust for this banjo head. But you do, when you, normally what we want to do is go through and make sure everything is tight and snug, not over tighten, because you can cause some damage. You can actually cause this sometimes to buckle in the middle and bend. So not too much. This is actually kind of loose the way it is. That's probably because without the strings on it, that was kind of loose. So I might have to readjust that in a minute. But yeah, just make sure it's just snug, nothing over tight. That happened when I first got it. I actually dropped it, and it kind of caused a little crack. That's actually Gorilla Glue in there. That's what that is, and it's expanded a little bit to help hold it back together. But yeah, you want to make sure all this and your banjo head. Now, if your banjo head is still good and tight to the feel and things of that nature, don't worry about trying to adjust it, tighten it down some more. Only when you feel like a definite sag in the banjo head or anything like that, then I'd worry about tightening it down, because you can just, there's such thing as over tightening and overdoing it. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it, kind of thing. So if your banjo head still feels good and taut to touch, leave it be. So now basically I've inspected it, I went over it, everything looks fine. I think the thing I can do next is probably go through and tighten down the screws on the tuners, but I'll do that before I put the strings on. So I think now I'm ready for myself to go ahead and put the strings on. Alright, so putting these strings on is actually pretty simple. I mean, it's pretty much got illustrated directions here. First string, silver, it's color coded on these. Silver, purple, green, black, red. And this gives you your tuning right here. So you get ready to tune them up, there's the notes to go by. D, B, G, D, G. So you have a reference point on your tuner to know when to tune them up. But I'm dealing with a light gauge string. That's kind of the gauge I have. That's the gauge I've always played on. I like a light gauge, things of that nature. But yeah, it's pretty simple to do this. Let's set this to the side here. What I do is I start on one end at a time. I put all my strings on the loop right there. Get this open. See how I mean? You got the color tabs on the edge of these strings. Pretty simple. First one is D, it's silver. Go ahead and loop that on here. I didn't put that on. Silver, and I got this no knot tailpiece. Let me get in here on this. I got this no knot tailpiece, so it kind of, well, I might not be able to just let the strings hang. Alright, so I'm gonna hang these strings on here and come back to you one or two later. I'll get one or two strings ahead here. Pause it. Alright, so what I did here, I went ahead and went in another direction here. Notice that I'm just going to do one side at a time, but well, plans change sometimes. Life has a different plan for you, so this one had no different. So I just went ahead and hung the outer strings on first, my fifth and my first. So I'll go ahead and I can start getting the bridge on. Stand it up. Now I got them lines already drawn out where the banjo bridge was sitting before, and that helps with intonation. That helps. That's about the spot where it's intonated. That's perfect. So I'm gonna go again and adjust it when I get the strings on there. So you gotta mess around with it till you get it all in tune and set just right. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue on. Well, I guess I could show you real quick. I'm going, like I said, I'm going through the color coding. I got the first string and the fifth string on. I got the silver and the red. Just go by the color sheet. The black one is the D. I'm gonna go ahead and put that one on. It's the wound string on here. So that's what I'm gonna go with next. Timmy's gonna pause this for me, and I'm gonna get another 2 strings in. And this last one, I wonder where it goes. This is the second string. Second, but the last string I'm putting on. But you just get on there. There you go. Now see, it's pretty simple to do this. I'm gonna get these on here. Just come in through here. Just come in through here. Lord have mercy. I do a double knot. I don't know if Timmy's really getting it or not. I come back around for a second run, and hold right there. Come in and set that thing into a knot around that peg, and it kind of helps tie it in place where it won't slip out. Now we're just going to go ahead and twist that string on. Notice I'm holding it here at the nut and which way I'm turning it as well. On these sides, if Timmy will come on and so what you're thinking, buddy. Appreciate it. Now here, I'm turning this way. That way it don't put any uneven pressure against this nut, and it causes it to kind of waller out, and you have buzzing and just wouldn't sound good. So make sure, and these here you turn this way, counterclockwise. This side's clockwise, this side's counterclockwise. Alright, so we got the strings on here. Now the next thing to do is to set the intonation and get it tuned up. And that'll be the end of it. Pretty simple. Now remember, number 1 rule when you're doing these is you wait to the very end of the setup to cut your whiskers. You leave these on because you might have to take the strings off again. And so you just do yourself a favor, leave those whiskers on there until you're absolutely done. Alright, so I got it in a rough tuning, and I do mean rough. So, but that's okay for right now. What I'm doing now is I'm going to make sure that they, actually make sure these are set in the right spots. I got to slide that back over a little bit, looks like. I got to make sure it's centered in that neck fret. There. So what I'm doing now is I'm actually going to settle the strings in. So you go ahead and just kind of memorize the pitch of this string right now, wherever it's at. And what we're going to do now, something like that. Now we're just going to go and just lift up on it, lower her down. It's almost settled. I ain't going to mess with that one. Let's do the 4th string. This guy. Just kind of pick him. Now. You just step out like this. Do it one more time. He's almost in there. Try this guy. Alright. So I'm going to settle it. Alright. This guy. I don't own a tuner, so this is I'm doing the best I can. This one definitely needs to be settled in because it keeps going flat. Oh, that's why he wasn't on the what do you call that? Tailpiece all the way. That explains a lot. Something like that. Almost. Alright, so get in there. Actually, he's settled in now. This guy. One more time. Alright, now, see if I can't get him in a better tuning than this. Those strings are tuned up together. Let's see. 5th fret. And the 4th, 5th, and 3rd string should be the same pitch. Which they are. So then I'm going to go here to the 4th fret on the 3rd string and try to tune the 2nd string to the 3rd string. That one sounds a little flat, so I'm going to bring them up. Alright, I might have to adjust for that because it's not always going to be spot on. You see how that 2nd string kind of sounds almost like a sawmill tuning. I'm going to bring it down until the pitch kind of evens out on it. So now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to test for my intonation. Pause. Alright, so I'm testing my intonation, and how I do that is I come to the 12th fret. Because the reason we're doing the intonation on these, it's not like an acoustic guitar where it's already kind of set up for intonation, because the saddle's been placed in the right scale length. These you got to adjust for it. Every time you do a string change, because you take the bridge off, you got to adjust your intonation again, or it's when you get higher up in the registers, they start clashing. The notes start clashing the higher you get. It'll be fine down here probably, but the higher you get up, one string might start getting more sharp than the others, and you'll have a whole big tuning battle up towards the higher registers. So what I've done, I remember told you I got these kind of marked, but it's kind of in a rough place where I've had it marked. So what I want to do is go through each individual string. Now these 5th string, it's a little bit different. You want to come up to about, I think the 17th fret to do the intonation on it. That'd be a halfway for that string. And what I do is I do a harmonic. Now when you do a harmonic, it's where you just barely touch the string and play it. Hear it? Now actually fret it. And it should sound like the same note. And it does. So that string's good. Let's play the intonation. Let's play the harmonic on the 4th string. Fret it. Sounds alright. Harmonic. Fret it. Open. Fret it. Harmonic. That one sounds good. Let's do the 3rd string now. I'm going to fret it first. Open. Harmonic. That does sound good. They sound like the same pitch. It should be the same note. Not one should be higher than the other or flatter than the other. It should be one just an octave higher than the other, or just an octave high. Playing it off the 5th string sounds perfect. Let's go to the 2nd string. Same thing. Fret it first. That should be it. That should be one note. Open. Now harmonic. Perfect. Let's move on down. First string. Open. Yep. There it is. I have reason to believe my intonation is set right, and I'm ready to start playing this thing. So guys, that's the end of this video. If y'all learned anything, give this video a like. Tell you to subscribe, but y'all know what to do. I mean, you done it before for me. So thank y'all so much for clicking on, and until next time, Old Slim here. Goodbye. I see you when I see you.